So Nation,
Hi.
welcome back, and Christian is back.
the better I'm so glad to be back.
the better part of us, guys.
Uh,
All I can say is draw.
Pew, 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 pew.
um, we have. I honestly think now that we just talked about it right before we hit the button, um, I think we might have a little too much to talk about. I think
Oh
we
my
might.
gosh.
I'm thinking about it, and we're like, well, I'm like, I don't know
D-
how we're gonna get to all of it.
Is this gonna be a two-parter?
I hope not. That's a lot of editing on my part. But guys, all right, just so everyone is clear, first off, I do want to make a slight, maybe public service announcement. Here's our PSA, guys. We are full of opinions in on this podcast, and sometimes our opinions get a little bit too riled up. So we would like to apologize sometimes in advance for some of our hot topics and some of our hot opinions. We're trying to make it a little bit more balanced. We're trying to give you a little bit more positive to go along with the negative. You might hear some negative, but you might hear some more positive this time around. We've received some feedback, and we're gonna try to not change completely because we know sometimes you guys like what we say. But PSA, we heard you. So with that, here is our list that we're gonna have to get through today. It doesn't sound like a lot, but there's a lot of content inside of each one. So we have to go through the Dallas game, guys. We have to go through the Portland game. We obviously have to. We're gonna eventually get to the Colorado game. And there's also a bunch of like mini topics I know you guys like have in between all of these things and things you guys want to talk about. Um, and then to finish it off, I'm going to say I cheated. There are some pretty good questions for the Instagram questions, and we'd like to thank all of you.
Like you guys laid it on us with these questions. We got some good ones, so stay tuned, stay tuned. Or if you want to fast forward now to the very end of questions, feel free to do that. But
Yeah, but
Go
you're
back
gonna
and listen. You're gonna want to hear.
a lot of this.
I might have a soapbox tonight.
I don't know if I'm ready for this, but you know what? Let's dive into this. Why not? I'm gonna give this first game to Marcos. Marcos, give me your the thoughts on the Dallas game, lineups. What was your overall feeling, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
Yeah, this was a interesting game because with lineup wise, we had Caliskin starting over there on the right back. We had Sam again starting as a center back, and same old. Gozo starting again. Willie, I think was this Willie's first start for
Mhm.
RSL?
It was.
This was Willie's first start for RSL. Same midfield. I I was impressed. A lot of people stood out. We had a goal early in the first half by Luna, and that was a beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. Not afraid at all. Just side swipe that with that left foot, kisses it off that post, and sneaks right in past Martin Pass. So very, very impressed. But other than that, it was just a typical RSL game where we gave up a lead, unfortunately.
All right. I need to know your guys' thoughts on Kaliskin. Because that's obviously the one that sticks out to most of us is Kaliskin. We're already used to Gozo at this point.
Yeah,
And Willie was probably not like too much of a surprise, but Kaliskin at right back, he's been playing Monarchs. I think the majority of I think the majority of the season. I think he's only
the
played one other
well the
RSL game.
position that he normally plays for the Monarchs is a defensive mid. Obviously, we are too stacked on defensive mid, so
Bro,
I
RSL's like has
Midfield FC. I've said it before.
bro. I think we're even defensive midfield FC.
I like what he in the Dallas game, and then we'll get to the Portland game. But I like what he has shown so far in these two games as right back. It shows that we have depth. I'm not saying that he is. We have depth. We have solid pieces.
Yeah.
I love that he's stepped up and he hasn't backed down. He's taken the challenge of playing right back personally, and honestly, this is some of the best, my favorite form I've seen him play in. So
He
I'm
did
loving. Yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised. I'm loving this Noel Cowscan. I want more.
he did the reverse Anelli. That almost sounds like a skateboarding move. He did the reverse Anelli, where he's not playing right back when he played defensive mid.
That's true. That's true.
Kind of crazy how that works. Um, but yeah, in fact, because we love FOTMob here, FOTMob gave him the best rating out of the whole defensive line and almost out of the whole team for
That's
that
true.
Dallas game.
Yeah,
That's
because
crazy.
well, you look at stats wise for Caliskin in this game, 58 of 64 for passing, 91%. One chance created being on that backside. So very, very impressive for that start.
Yeah. Let's I think we're gonna see more of his praises in the next game. But let's talk about Willie's first start. He played how many minutes did he play? It was 58 minutes he played.
Hmm.
And then we might get into that controversy right there with him. Um, how did you guys see Willie coming into this game? Uh, this is obviously his first start, minute one, and plays a half in 10 minutes. How do we see him?
I don't know if I saw enough to really make a good assessment. I'll be completely honest. I wanted to see more that second yellow is just unfortunate and like you said, controversial. Like I I don't know. I want to see more of Willie. Marcos and I met him yesterday briefly, by the way, and he is so cool.
Super nice guy.
Super nice guy.
Super nice, friendly
I'm a
guy.
fan.
I agree with Christian's point right there that I would have loved to see more from Willie. About 55, 50, what was it, 58 minutes that we saw from him. Yes, you look at stats wise, two shots, but he's still it's still early. Still early for him. Coming fresh from Kansas City. With Kansas City, he of course was riding the bench where he only came for about 10 or so minutes off the bench for them. So it's gonna get a little bit of a adjustment period, but I think it's gonna be good. He is gonna bring that dynamic, that scoring aspect which we need.
I mean, and you take a look at, I kind of, you take a look at the shot map. It's actually a brand new feature I just found on FotMob. Me just
Woohoo!
digging around here. You can actually take a look at his shot map, and he's he's a corner guy. He's aiming for that bottom right corner on both of his shots.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, both of them were off target, but I mean, one of them was way out there. But that something that was brought up last night. Who was it? Or maybe it was an interview with. No, it was brought up last night that Willie's dangerous inside the box, which is
Yeah,
something that we desperately need as a team.
yeah, yeah.
Honestly, we're covered for long shots. We've got a great for a team that shoots outside of the box. We're actually, I mean, I'd have to take a look at the stats, but I'd say we're probably pretty dangerous outside of the box. So within the box, that piece that we need, and it looks like Willie is willing to do that.
Yeah, if you look at highlights for when he played at Kansas City, many players, Saloui, even Johnny Russell, they would take shots at the top of the box, and Willie would be like that cleanup guy. Very similar to I want to say like a Wondolowski, but not the same. But he just clean up that garbage stuff, and we need that. We need that because so many times we don't have those guys who clean up that garbage.
It's true because we don't have anyone that ever gets inside the box. So it, I think I'm with Christian. I think Marcus, you even said it too. I need to see more because I'm not I'm not too impressed. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm really hard to impress, but I just didn't see anything that was like, whoa, out of this world. Obviously, he's not to the level of the kind of strikers we had last season, but um, it's
He's
definitely
also
an improvement.
younger.
Yeah, he is younger than Anderson Julio, yeah, younger than Chicho, yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I just need to see more because yeah, the number nine position we're hurting a lot. Um, I want to get into the controversial yellow card, second yellow for Willie. I know there's a lot of fans that are like, That's a bunch of bull. Why would you give a second yellow on a flop? That's usually uh, referees hardly ever give that. Those are usually reserved, like if it's like a first yellow card, you just want to warn them and make sure they don't do it again. I have my take. What are your guys' thoughts on the second yellow?
I think it was 100% simulation. It was a stupid, stupid decision from him. He had a lot of space from what I saw from the replay to just go for it, take a shot. But he wanted to try to earn the PK. But unfortunate, unfortunate.
I want consistency in this league when it comes to flopping and in simulation, and it should be it should be punished. And this is an unfortunate result of that. Um,
Yeah,
and
we, we
if we can get that consistently across the league, I think we'll see an improvement in the quality of play because
absolutely.
players will be less motivated to simulate. And I think that's what I'm taking away from this is that simulation, not so much. Let's earn the goals.
Look, I can't agree with the fighting consistency. I think that I'm a referee apologist. That's what's sucky about this position for me is because when people start yelling for, "Hey, I want consistency with the referees across the league," bro, how can you get consistency with referees that have different personalities? They're not robots, and so
True.
when you have the rules that are they're they're pirate rules, they're bendable, they're guidelines. So
Yeah.
when you have these kind of guidelines, it's really hard to find any consistency. I had to sneeze. Sorry, guys. I
No,
was like
you're good. I mean,
halfway through my thought. I was like, "Oh, stop."
Well,
It's
going back to the first half, we had another unfortunate yellow card with Jay Glad. He was on yellow card warning, and he picked up that one. So that was he stayed in the rest of the game, but it was just a not smart move on his part.
I mean, do you
It,
think maybe I'm just gonna bring it back a little bit because Arsenal Nation has been focusing a lot on referees this past month. Do you think?
we
And I
do
think
lead we do lead the league in red cards at 4.
now is that? Hmm, I was about to say, is that referee fault? Because if you think about all the red cards that we got, let's try to go through them.
We
Peel,
have our Aries, yes.
yeah, Peel, Luna, this one. Who's the fourth one? I can't think of any right now. Did Vera get one? If y'all can come up with, I'll give it. I'll give the Luna and Peel ones. The Peel one is I again. If we're gonna go with consistently and blaming refs, I think that was an unfortunate one. Um, I think if the referee would have called it the blown his whistle a second earlier, what was it?
Bodie.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's right.
San
Second.
Diego.
Oh,
San
that
Diego.
second yellow again. So we have two straight reds and two second yellow reds. The two straight reds with Peel, I think the referee could have whistled the foul a second or two earlier, and he would have avoided the contact, avoided that challenge. The Luna one obviously was rescinded. It was an absolute mistake, and that referee for me is an absolute disgrace. Um, that's my hot take. The other two are, I think, players' faults. Those are not referee being inconsistent. That's just lack of concentration and trying to they were trying to bend the rules a little too far. And that's
Well,
when the referee's like, no.
especially for the one for Bodie, that was definitely one where end of the game, heat of the moment, not smart move.
Yeah. So for me, I don't want to get too deep into this topic because I think we're all
It's
sick of
beating
talking
a
about
dead
it.
horse.
Yeah, but I think we really, as a fan base, we really need to cool down with the referees. Like it's what we tell our young players when they're playing. Like
It's
play,
never the referee's fault. It's the people on the pitch.
it's play to the whistle. It's
Mhm.
don't let the referee bug you. Keep playing your game. I understand that
Absolutely,
he can affect the game, but just keep playing. Like
absolutely,
forget it. Anyways,
absolutely,
I get off
absolutely.
that soapbox. Um, Gozo.
And
What?
I'll say one last thing. We need to stop chanting "Ref, you suck." We're gonna get fined. The
Someone's gonna
team
get
is
fined
gonna get,
somewhere.
and we don't want that. We
In my opinion, it's so classless. It's so classless to be doing that chance. Like
I have friends listening to this that do that all the time. So sorry, friends. Um, let's talk about Gozo. Gozo starting again, man. But let's talk about the FC Dallas Gozo. FC Dallas Gozo. I think again, great shift. Fotmob doesn't think so, but I think he had a great shift in comparison
Mhm.
to his other wing companion. His other wing companion did make more passes and whatnot, but I think there's something influential about Gozo just chasing the ball everywhere.
it seems like from the San Diego game, this game, it's just every game he's just a tad bit better. He's just learning from his mistakes from the prior game so quickly. And I have to remind myself, he's only 18 years old and he's learning so fast, which is crazy to believe.
And not necessarily mistakes either. He's just improving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling Marcos I think it was during this game, it might have been the previous game to this, that when he's chasing the ball, he almost seems like he's like half a second behind because every time he would get to the ball, they'd be like they'd kick it away right before he gets there, and I think it might have been this game. I saw some improvement where he was actually blocking some of the kicks that he was pressuring. So he's starting to learn how to pick up the pace and how to keep up with the pace of this game, which is super good. And I'm again super impressed. I think he should be starting every game over Dom until Dom improves.
That's
And
fair. And honestly, I think he's earned it. And it's not, I don't say that as a slight against Dom. I think just Gozo's earned it at this point. Like Pablo said last night, every position on the field is a competition, and it
Mhm.
should be. I love that in a locker room where it's not like, oh, I deserve this position of who I am. No, I got this position because I've worked for it, and I
Yeah.
deserve.
It doesn't matter if you have DP, doesn't matter if you've been here for 5, 10 years, 18 or years old or not, you earn that spot.
yeah. One last point on this game, because to be honest, thinking back, how many days ago was it? 5 days ago, and I'm kind of having fuzzy brain. So the last thing I want to touch on this one is Anderson Julio scoring.
I was about to say, it was unfortunate. I saw it coming. I hate to say it, but with his speed, we're so familiar with his speed, and he spun Alex around like a dreidel. He was so fast. But I'm happy to see that he's scoring um once again.
Well, not against us. Don't
Well,
be happy.
not again.
Come on, what's wrong with you? um, no, but
It's a bittersweet.
we did talk about it last episode too, about Julio playing down that right. Well, yeah, their right wing, our left wing. I didn't think it'd be as easy for him as it actually was, which is worrying. But again, it goes to the fact of the people that we got rid of in the offseason are producing for their teams currently. Anderson Julio, Chicho even scored last night. Chicho scored a bunch of times so far this season. And so that's what's hurting us right now is seeing our exes doing so well.
Like the
That's
Utah Jazz.
sure. Also, gee whiz, guys, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. But nonetheless, this is a draw. We got
You
a
know,
point.
it was going to come eventually, right? We can't go a whole season with just wins and losses, so a draw was going to come. So it did.
And I think the draw was just. I really
Yeah.
think it was because we had a good first half, slacked off in the second. It was bound to happen. So,
What was it? 4 points on that 3 game road trip.
um,
That's yeah.
was it? Where
Wait,
was
hold up.
what was it?
Yeah.
San Diego first? San Diego was the first game.
Nope.
Four
Vancouver. Oh yes, San Diego, Vancouver, Dallas. So yeah, 4 points.
4 points in the 3 game road trip.
That's not horrible.
Not bad
It's on par for the course.
And
for
honestly,
46.
for those three opponents on the road, the only surprising result obviously was San Diego because San Diego's on fire. And for us to go ahead and dismantle them at home, awesome. Vancouver, arguably the best team in North America. So I
San Diego? You mean
no, I
Vancouver?
said I said Vancouver.
He said Vancouver.
Did
I
you?
said Vancouver.
Yeah.
I moved on. Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
Yeah.
watch it.
That uh yeah, Vancouver, arguably the best team in North America right now. And we'll find out next week, right? When they play Cruz Azul. But a 2-1 loss to such a good team, I'm not even that mad about it. And then 1-1 FC Dallas. If we take a look at where FC Dallas is in the standings right now, and look at the stats of the game, I can't think of a more evenly matched
Yeah, it was
game.
about as
Like,
even as it comes.
so I'm not mad. I think
I do think we let it slip. Just
we did
just
let it slip, but then again,
we let.
so did Dallas. They let
Do you
it
know?
slip for us to score. We let it slip for them to score. Very similar teams, very similar forms, and goal differentials and things like that. It's
Do you know?
we're
I was mentioning to Marcos about that how similar we are. I think we dropped so many points again. We dropped I think 5 points against Dallas this whole for the two time we played them. I think we could have won both games. And
Mhm.
and that's what's frustrating too. So that means we dropped 5 points right there. And if we talk about all the other games that we could have won, like we got Toronto for one, that's another three. If we add up just those points, like what was it, 8 points, we would be at 22 points. We would be sitting top five right now,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
just with 3 games.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you have to if we had a full healthy team, if we didn't have suspensions, this and that. So
Yeah, yeah. All right, from one draw to another. Let's go to what happened last night against the Timbers, which I again the Timbers, uh, top five team in the West. They're pretty spicy. So Christian, what did you see from the lineup? What are your thoughts on what you saw last night?
so the lineup front front five or front six rather is pretty much what we expected, right? Since Willie was out, we had Peel start and the same three attacking midfielders, followed by Ojeda and Nelly, solid, and obviously Cabral in the back, the goat. Um, but the back line is what is obviously what caught everybody off guard. Catranis, Junca, and Hidalgo Caliscan. I mean, we're talking about injuries and suspensions. Our back line is really what's suffering right now.
I'm
And
I'm not gonna lie, I was very caught off guard when I saw Hidalgo's name. Not saying he did a bad job. He surprised me a lot, but I was expecting someone like a Zach Farnsworth because he actually does play center back. So that's who I was expecting to see.
but for me and how the back line did, I was blown away.
Yeah.
I thought they played fantastic for being, I mean, at least the right hand side of that being our second string,
Hmm.
right side of the defensive line. They stepped up and they did exactly what they needed to, and honestly, probably a bit more. To because, like you said, there's a very scary um, Portland Timbers. Yeah, they had Kelsey starting up top. Giving him some. Marcos mentioned he was brought up from Portland Timbers too, which,
Hmm.
um, but you have Perez, La Costa, Anthony Moreno, all those that just midfield is terrifying, and they did their job. Cabral obviously made some incredible saves, and hot. Um, my hot take from this game is probably for me one of the best Diogo Gonçalves performances I've seen. He started what was what he was doing a little bit more than I noticed. He was inserting himself more in offensively and kind of getting in. He couldn't quite get himself into positions to shoot, and he made some good passes out wide to set up other opportunities. So I think he's starting to find his rhythm a little bit. Like, and you could see that he was kind of frustrated when he came off. And thinking back, I'm like, well, because he was starting to feel it.
Yeah.
And
I
so,
I can totally see where you're coming from. There was small spurts that I saw in the first half, but I think what Pablo said in the press conference, it's still gonna he still needs time to learn and to get adapted to this league. So who knows how much longer, but I did see some good moments that I saw from him in that first half.
I'll agree with the good moments. There were moments, and it's almost like someone, something, or some people are lighting a fire underneath him, saying, "Hey, you better get on it," because let's be completely honest, without trying to be negative. Being a DP is tough. His position is tough, and yet he's still, as a DP, underperforming to the expectation of fans, and even management on radio stations haven't mentioned by name, but we can all guess that senior players are underperforming. We've heard it.
Yeah.
Um, there were some good stuff that happened in that first half, but there's still a lot of gap there. And that was frustrating, is to see that there were little spurts here and there where you're like, yes, that's what I need. Now give me a 5 minute stretch of that, not just this 30-second run pressure and then lost the ball.
Definitely.
Like keep it consistent. I would love to see more of those moments. Um, yeah, I don't want to dive too deep into that just because it's just the same old story. We're beating a dead
Well,
horse.
hot take for me in this one, a player that I feel like should be getting the start every game. Past two games he's played right back, Caliskin. He has impressed me so much. I think it was the first 20, 30 minutes of this game. I was like, wow, his hustle to come back and help Hidalgo, and Hidalgo's so far up out of position. So impressive. Um, we see this sometimes in spurts from Hidalgo when he does play that right back, but Caliskin has that work effort, and he's normally, like we've mentioned, not a right back. He plays defensive mid. So I would not be opposed if that's the position where we see him permanently moving forward.
I want to open that debate then. Christian, who would you prefer at right back, Hidalgo or Caliskin for right now? Because that's who we have available. I mean, heck, you can even throw in a PQ in there. Who would you prefer?
honestly, out of performance, what I've seen so far, I mean, they all three have had phenomenal stints at right back this season, which is honestly a good problem. Right now, my favorite's got to be Caliscan. And I've sung the praises of Bodie. I've sung the praises of PQ, and I do not take those back at all. But Caliscan right now, I think, is what we need. And again, because yeah, he stepped into the shoes, and then Bodie's just shown his flexibility by sliding over, and he works. And I think what's good is that because Bodie has spent enough time on the right back side, he's able to slide into the middle to work well with Noel playing at his right because he understands and they can understand how to rotate together, which we saw last night. It kind of took some turns rotating as necessary.
Yeah, yeah, and because I love patterns, if you look at the Fob Mob lineup, you have Anelli, Caliscan, and Gozo in their little triangle on the RSL side, and then Catranis, Ojeda, and Diogo on the other side of the field in their little triangle. You can tell which side of the field is stronger for us at this point with those players, and you can tell which side which side got subbed more often. I really think we're starting to see that the youth are wanting to play. And this has been something that we've been just begging for. In fact, we're not the only people. There have been other media outlets, other podcasters like just play the kids because the kids
Well,
want to play.
well, you look in the second half. It was about 82nd minute when Luna got hit. He was down on the ground. He got up. He was limping, and I told Christian, Gozo's still running. He has energy. He could go for like another 45 minutes. And it was the same way. press conference, he full of energy. Like, dude looked like he could still go out there and go play another half. So it's like what we said, the youth want to play, and we need that from all 11 guys on the pitch.
Gozo, I think, had his best game last night against Portland.
Absolutely. He was a junkyard dog. He came to play.
I'm super um I think he's super disappointed, and I'll echo his sentiment that he didn't score.
Mhm.
He was so close. If he would have scored, I think I would have lost my ish.
The stadium was ready to explode. It was so close to exploding. It was just the ball just landed on the wrong side of his foot. That's all it was. And he's gonna and he wants that back. He wants that moment back, but obviously he's not gonna get it back. And I think if he takes that chip on his shoulder, we're gonna see him score sooner than later.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely going to come for Gozo. He's getting those opportunities. He's getting those chances. He's smelling it. And I know for a fact when he scores, he's going to run over to his family because it's so cool to see his brother and his parents right behind the goal, right behind the benches cheering him on.
Yeah, that's cool. I do want to bring up the the fact that everyone was asking for a Dominic and Gozo being on the field at the same time. It happened.
It did.
What are you guys' thoughts on having both of them on the field?
I liked it. I really liked it.
I think Gozo does a really good job at reading Dominic and playing to his style. So I wouldn't be opposed if both of them have a start together.
I I think Dom is a little out of sync right now. Just because of coming back from injury and trying to get back onto the field. I didn't see him enter this game very well. He had the stats don't
Mhm.
don't show it, but I thought he had a couple of crosses, and at least some attacks on that right wing, which helped. But it almost seemed like he was still disconnected from the rest of the team. So I think we just need to see him get some more reps, get him back
Mhm.
into onto the field, and trying to get working with everyone else. Now,
So here's a question for you. We've seen, was it 3 starts in a row for Gozo? Going into Saturday's game against Colorado, is it one of those you rest Gozo, start Dominic?
hold up, bro. That's Colorado talk. You're
No, no,
you're way
listen,
ahead.
guys.
I love you thinking ahead, but I think
Is
that's a conversation we should be having.
is it soapbox time?
You want it to be soapbox time? Holy
I
Lay it
cow!
gotta
on,
get this
l-
off my
l-
chest.
lay it
Hold
on us, Christian.
hold up. Give me some time to like take a couple breaths. I need to figure out what headspace you're in. So give me a sec. All right, Christian. Now you can do it.
Okay, so here's the thing. Something that Pablo said last night made me reflect and think back, and I feel I'm just gonna start off by saying I feel like a total hypocrite.
Oh,
Something that I have not been quiet about is how, obviously I have been vocal about how European stars will come into MLS thinking they're gonna dominate the league and then they struggle. Because playing in MLS is it's a way different animal than any of the European leagues. Now they obviously you've got the superstars that come in that still obviously have measure of success. Obviously Messi's had success here. Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, all of the Inter Miami crew. Wayne Rooney even had success here, and even Zlatan, obviously.
Thierry
Play,
Henry.
Thierry Henry, um, David Beckham, they all did well to an extent, but they all struggled as well. Bastian Schweinsteiger, and Granit Xhaka? No.
Yeah, Shaka. Yeah.
Yeah, who
No,
was no, the
Village.
Swiss
Shakiri.
guy.
Shakiri.
Shakiri.
Shakiri, who went back and dominated in Switzerland, which I think is gonna help to my point here. We forget, I think, how hard it is to play in MLS and how hard it is to adapt. You I talked about how these players are these high caliber players are successful here, but they're still struggling. Messi's struggling right now in MLS. And we take a look at where the fans and everything have had criticism this year, and it's a lot of been on the offensive end. Where did we sign a bunch of players this offseason? The offensive end, coming from Europe, coming from Australia. They're struggling because it's hard to transition into this league. And I think, at least on my end, and this is where I feel like a hypocrite, where I've been preaching on a soapbox that, yeah, this league is hard and it's hard to adapt and things like that. And I'm not giving grace to our own players for that. So,
I can see
that,
your point.
and yeah, and people are like, well, yeah, but Chicho came in and immediately contributed. And, you know, uh, Anderson Julio came in and we loaned him, got him on loan on first, and we signed him full time, and he contributed immediately. They all came from within the league. They knew what this league was like. They knew how to play within this league. This league is a lot more. Noel said it last night very well. This league is open compared to a lot more tight knit play that you see in Europe and probably Australia. I haven't watched the Australian league, unfortunately, but this league is a lot more open. The style of play is different, and obviously the differing uh, altitudes of stadiums and the amount of travel, etc., also plays a factor as well. But I think I yeah, it does take a transitionary period to get used to how this league plays and works. And the majority of our offense is from an outside league. That's why you see Dominic, who's doing well in Poland, kind of struggling here. Why you see Diogo, who is doing well in the Eredivisie, kind of struggling here. Well, I see Lockie kind of struggling here. Our strikers are all, except for Willie, uh, again, because he didn't really get his chance to shine yet, I don't think. But, the strikers up to that point hadn't transitioned into the league. And so I I personally want to eat a slice of humble pie and kind of take a step back and be like, we need to give a measure of grace to these players for this. And I don't think we have. At least I haven't as a member of this podcast and as a fan. And I think our fans could stand to do it as well.
I can see it. I definitely I hear you. Now, uh, I don't want to take away from anything you just said, but what is the limit then?
Exactly. Exactly.
Because I think that's what fans are asking. If we're gonna go,
Because
we'll go to the Diogo case real quick.
because we're approaching almost 1 year
Well,
of him being
not quite. We're at 26 games, I think, if I counted right. 26
yeah,
games he has with RSL in the United States.
three
What
three three goals, 1 assist.
what is I guess what time period or what kind of limit would you put on a Christian if you were to say, hey, you at this point you need to already be like adapting because I guess to Marcus's point, yeah, we're coming up on the summer window when that's when we got him last year.
Mhm.
So
I'd say a full season. He hasn't done a full season. He came in off of the end of the European League directly into MLS, played the rest of the season, got a tiny little break before hopping right back in.
all right. I mean, yeah, and I think that's what everyone needs to draw their line. There's some fans that say, look, he has 20 plus games. He has started every single game this season except for the San Jose game. Maybe that's their line.
I
Obviously,
will
none of our
I
lines really matter except for RSLs.
I will admit I was looking at stats of Jordi Alba because I think he's about 10 or so 10-15 games ahead of Diogo right now. And he's already scored 5 goals with Inter Miami. And I was comparing them to, and I'm like, no, just going to Christian's point. Players take time to adjust to this league, whether it's playing style, whether it's travel, this or that. We can't rush Diogo getting adjusted. Um, this is a competitive league.
Yeah, and I do want to honestly, I do want to apologize to them if because again, I feel like a hypocrite. Pablo really made me think last night when he said that. I'm like, oh man, I haven't been following my own uh words.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, good for you. I mean, there's again the sand or the line in the sand that people need to draw. I think it's to each their own. But
Mhm.
in the end, the only one that matters is RSLs. And
Hmm.
if they keep saying that, give him time, he's gonna get there. Give him time. They must know something that we don't, or they have a lot more patience because fans want immediate results,
You
obviously.
got you got you
And
got to
that's what makes it
trust the
hard,
process.
right?
Yes.
That's what makes it hard. I mean, everybody wants immediate results. Who doesn't want immediate results?
Right. Everyone's expecting just like last what was it 2 years ago when Chicho's first game he started, he scored. We want those kind of results. But no, great point, Christian. Really appreciate that. So with that, let's turn into this weekend against
Dun dun
Colorado.
dun dun
This
dun dun
is
dun
this is one where we need
dun dun
revenge
dun dun dun
So
dun.
there's only two Rocky Mountain Cups
games.
games this year, not three, two. So this is all or nothing. And come Saturday.
Yeah, and this one I think will feel this year will feel a little bit more personal because last year we did so well, and yet that was the one cup that we should have gotten. I mean,
Hmm.
with the amount of
Mhm.
success that we had, well, not that we had, that we were gonna have as a team, I think the Rocky Mountain Cup should have been one that we would should have had it in the bag from game one.
Oh, that one was amazing. Having your son with me at the game,
That was
the
game two,
come
bro. That was
oh that
game
was game
two.
That was
that
game
was
two. That was game two.
Yeah, game one
the
is in March.
come from behind victory. Oh, your son taking his shirt off. Oh, that was the best part of the whole game.
Yeah,
Classic GIF now.
classic GIF. Um, so let's talk about to your point, Marcos. Who are we playing this weekend in terms of who's going to be starting? Because we're coming off of a midweek game. Do we see a lot of similar? Do we see different? What have we heard?
So according to Pablo in our press
Hmm.
conference that we heard, he said Kobe is going to be out for about 2 or 3 more weeks as expected because you can't rush that kind of injury. Glad's obviously going to be back because that was just a yellow card, and Vera
Hmm.
and PQ are going to be back, which is awesome. We saw in Vera's Instagram post today, he said, "I'm back." So
I'm really glad to have all three of those available.
that is huge. That is huge. So interchangeable. Are we going to see a Glad Vera? Are we going to see is Sam going to keep his spot because he's been doing so well as
Well,
center back?
let's talk about that. Let's go position by position because for me, I'm loving Sam where he's at because he has a offensive uh he has an offensive side to him, but he's very defensive. It's the argument that everyone had when he and Katranis
Hmm.
were switching off. I love Sam where he is at. So what do we do?
My ideal backline right now would be Katranis, Sam, Glad, Kaliskan.
For now, for now, I
I
agree.
was going to say, is there any way that we could put Vera as a right center back?
Mm,
He's a left center.
I know
it's the
that's the
left
thing.
center,
That's
and
the thing because
I think he'd be a good. We could potentially rotate Sam and Brian as needed.
Say what? You want Sam to play a defensive mid?
no.
Oh,
Vera.
Brian
Oh,
Vera.
Brian Bear. Not okay.
Oh my gosh, we have Brian problems.
Oh, we too many Brians. Um,
Well, we only have two. We used to have three. So
The funny thing is, I was looking at the lineup from last game, and I see Sam and Brian right next to each other. I'm like, what?
oh,
Yeah,
that's
that
funny.
yeah. That's the thing with Sam is that he's interchangeable between Catranis
mhm.
and Vera. So, um, do we see maybe Sam take a break this game? Like, to your point, do we see Vera? I personally don't think so. He hasn't played in a month.
No, I would start Sam and bring on Vera as a substitute late game, depending on what the result is like 65 minutes in.
Yeah, I think Glad's definitely going to get the start because it wasn't an injury; it was just a rest. So he's definitely going to get the start with some healthy legs. Caliskin, I hope, gets the start because he was a beast these last two games. And going to my point from earlier, I think Dom. I think Dom should get the start. Gozo's been on a tear as of recently, but I think it's time to have the young buck get a rest.
No, negatory. I totally
Mm,
disagree with that. I am in like 1,000% in disagreement, and this is why. And I know we just we just heard a soapbox. Uh, we just heard a TED talk, and we already talked about Diogo a little bit about him finding he was starting to find some success in the Dallas game and the Portland game. Let's have him take a break. I think let him oof like
Who
let
would you
like
replace? Who would you
put
replace him
put in
with?
Dom. Put in Dom. So what happened when Dom came in for Diogo was Luna ended up shifting out,
Hmm.
that's true.
and Berea ended up being in the middle,
Yeah.
and Gozo ended up being up top and Dom on the right. So they just all just rotated. Um, but with whatchamacallit, with Willie coming in, I think if you were to do what I just said, it would be, um, ooh, crap. Never mind. Maybe it won't work because I don't know how flexible Gozo is going to the left side.
I think the last other change that I would want to see in this one because that's another two games in 1 week. Have Ojeda sit and then bring on Pablo Ruiz because
Okay,
Ooh, I
I could
could.
I could see that.
It's
because
all about.
we saw
I, I,
what we saw Pablo Ruiz come in the Portland game and what he brought. It wasn't much, but I want to see him get a start because it's been a hot minute since we've seen Ruiz get that start.
I think with people starting to come back from suspension and injury, this is where our depth can really shine. And
Absolutely,
with
absolutely.
and it's yeah, I think I like the idea of resting players because if we can rest players, we're going to avoid further injury and have people in case of other card accumulations. Our boys are scrappy this year, which means card accumulations possible is probable. Um,
Um,
I,
I, I
I
believe
I
I
like the
believe
scrappiness.
I believe for Saturday's game against Colorado, the only player that is on yellow card warning is Alex.
Uh,
He oh, with Alex's scrappiness, he lives in that zone, but I'm here for it.
so I and I'm not going back to my point of Diogo. It's not that I don't want him to play. I think to Christian's point, yeah, we need to give them opportunities to grow, but I really think he needs a mental rest of
Mhm.
at least not start like put him in the second half, but just take that burden off of him of starting and just put him in the second half. Give him 25 30 minutes just to ooh, because I really think that he's feeling a lot of the pressure, and that pressure I think is overwhelming. And so this is me showing my love as a fan, saying I I know you're trying, but let's give you a break, and then let's restart. I think if we can if we can do that, I think that'd be baller.
For
Um,
sure,
that
definitely.
will it happen? I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. So going into this Colorado game, you look at their games. They haven't won a game. You got to go back to April 12th. It's been over a month since Colorado has won a game. They are on a three-game losing streak. As of most recently, they lost on Wednesday to San Diego on the road. And you look at players that are out. Their biggest one, they're without Navarro. Their leading goal scorer,
That's
who is
huge.
who is tied with Mihalovic at 5 goals this season. So that's that's a green light for us.
I really think so. And I think Mahalovic working alone, I think he's containable.
Yeah. Navarro is out until mid-June.
Yeah, that's a heavy hit for them.
It's a very
And
heavy hit.
and I think to your guys' point, we're starting to come off of everyone's finishing their injuries. Everyone's coming off of suspension, so we're starting to get loaded again. And mind you, I think we mentioned this before. May is our most loaded month of games. We're
Mhm.
halfway through it right now.
Yeah,
Um, I think this game might be just over the halfway point. I think we have four or three more games after this. And so if we can make it through May, which also happens to have our longest road streak and most road games, that means we're going to go into June, July, August, especially July and August, having the
Mm.
most home games. And I think if we can go into that fully healthy, guys, I think we can save this season. I'm just
fingers
saying.
crossed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. No, this game on Saturday, first leg of the Rocky Mountain Cup. This is a very winnable game. Like looking at the game last night, Wednesday against San Diego, Mihalovic missed a PK. I looked at the replay. It looked like it was a pass to Dos Santos, who had a very nice save. And going to your point, Alan, this team relies heavily on Mihalovic for their attack. So you shut down Mihalovic, it's game over for Colorado.
Mm, I wouldn't say completely game over. They still have Devin Bassett, who's a consistent threat, and then you do have some very dangerous wing backs in Sam Vines and Keegan Rosenberry who can press pretty easily. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a cakewalk by any means, because they still have some dangerous pieces that we have to be aware of.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Um, I really think that this is our chance to bring our A game. This is, I think, the biggest chance we have had in many weeks. So, with that, it's
Mm.
Prediction
prediction time.
time.
All right, Christian, since you've been last the past couple of times, let's have you go first.
Ooh, so earlier we were chatting online with an affiliate. Um, we'll call him a brother podcast over on the Colorado Rapids side. I'll be cordial for now. And I said a 1-1 draw to them. And you know what? I'm going to stand by it out of good faith to them, even though a better result is probable.
All right, I like it. I like it. Margos.
You know, Cabral got a clean sheet last game, and I think with having some depth back on our back line, it's going to do wonders. So give me a 2-0 victory for RSL.
Oh, this is great. I'm going to combine both your guys's. I think we're not going to get a clean sheet, but we are going to win. So it's going to be a 2-1 victory for RSL. This cup is going to be ours this year. It has to be ours.
It's got
Revenge.
it's coming home. It's coming home.
I wouldn't go that far. It's been home for how many years have we been doing this? 20 years. It's been home for 17 of them, something like that. So I'm not too worried. All right. I don't know how much time we have left, but let's use it all for this last segment, our most favorite segment of all time. And you better read all of them because
We are.
there's a
We got,
lot of them.
like I said, thank you to everybody that submitted questions. We got some good ones. So here we go. First one of the night for you guys. After 1 year, Utah Hockey Club is already more popular than RSL, and it's not like they're even good. What do we fans need to do to fill the stadium every single game? What do we fans need to do for the club to invest more in better marketing to make the team relevant in the state?
Ooh, I've got thoughts.
Lay it
Spill
on
yours
us.
because mine are
I've
pretty
got a couple.
based.
Okay, here's the thing. Utah Hockey Club, brand new shiny thing. It's going to attract more people. Two, quit making it the club's responsibility for you to show up. If you're going to show up to the games, you show up, be loud, chant, sing, do what you need to. If the stadium's not filling up, that is your dang fault.
Brother, reach. In fact, I was gonna say something similar. I was gonna say to that, and because I mean we would always love a little bit of help. Advertise anything that you listen to regarding RSL. Like help
Yeah.
spread the word because if we're not getting people more attracted to this, it's because fans aren't probably doing enough to promote it amongst their group. because I'll tell you, anytime I'm with my group of friends, I'm always talking about soccer. I'm talking about RSL, and they know what I do and who I love to watch. They know. Whether I can get them to the stadium or not is another thing. But
And come participate in the tailgates. We've got
Oh,
amazing supporters groups that put on
the tailgates are where
great.
it's at, everybody. Like, come
Seriously,
every game. Come see Christian at the tailgates. Come eat some food. Go meet people. Like, it is a blast. Like these guys have said, it all starts with you guys. Tell your friends, tell anybody who you interact with to come to games.
I
And it makes
am infinitely more handsome in person.
it's true. It's true. Like, have you seen that jawline? That jawline of Christians. No, no. If you haven't been to an RSL game, tell your friends. Come experience this electric atmosphere.
yeah, I guess
It, it
that's all we can say about that.
Yep.
yeah. Next question for you guys. What is your pet peeve while at an RSL game?
Ooh, okay. This one is mine. Oh my gosh. All right, so
Oh, hopefully.
what I hate it's not really big, but it's like huge. Like I get aggravated. Like my veins start bulging when you start talking to me at an RSL game. I hate being talked to.
What like
No,
What?
no
talk talk
side conversations. No, I
oh
can't do it.
Oh,
I
so solely you can talk to you about the game.
yeah, like I even get bugs. I'll even like make it bigger. I hate it when people talk to me at my son's game. I hate it when people talk to me at my daughter's games. I hate it
That's true.
when I'm watching a game and they're talking to me. Like, bro, no, I'm watching a game. I'm not gonna talk to you. No, in fact,
Uh,
sorry for those that do actually talk to me, but I usually like do short answers. I'm like, uh, yeah, yeah, hmm
he does do that.
yeah. It's
He does.
I hate it. So, anyways, that's my pet peeve.
Ooh, from what do I? Mm?
hmm?
I don't know if I have anything that I really hate at the games. I'll turn to what I wish would happen more. I wish the crowd would sing and chant more.
Okay. Yeah.
My biggest pet peeve at an RSL game is fans leaving early. I I can't stand it. My thing is, would you do that at a play? Would you do that at the movie theater, a concert? No. You spent the money, stay the whole 90 minutes and cheer loud for your team.
They'll tell you, don't worry about it. That's my money. So,
So that's my pet peeve at RSL games.
well, cool. Great.
Next question for you guys. Is Pablo on the hot seat going into June?
No,
No,
like, not even close.
quick and easy. No.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't even have any arguments.
we've talked
Nope.
about this before, and I think this is more of a player problem than a coaching problem.
I mean,
So
if I do want to like say something regarding that, it's like, who else would you put in, like, for instance, in the Portland game, who else would you put? Like, who would have been such an influential player that would have won that game? Like, what other tactics would you have done? I don't see any. So,
N
yeah,
Nothing
no,
that wasn't addressed in the presser last night.
exactly. So, no.
here we go. Next question: Rafa or Ramondo? PK saves, distribution, overall.
Oh, if we had Rafa for as many years as we had Ramondo, this would be maybe a little bit a heavier debate.
Hmm.
I mean, I'd have to go with the wall,
Yep.
but Rafa, with how fast he has come onto this team and performed, oof.
No, no, no.
Easily my second favorite goalkeeper of all time to play for RSL.
Would you say Ramondo's better at PK saves and distributions?
Ramondo's distributions were uncomparable. You
Yeah.
cannot compare anyone else with his distributions. PK
Agreed.
saves, um, I'd have obviously we haven't seen enough of Cabral to know, but Cabral
Thankfully.
Cabral makes saves, a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah. So I need more of Cabral, but from what he's given us, chef's kiss. He's been lights out.
Great question, Flip. That's a
That
hard
is
one.
a great one.
Next question: Do we get rid of Ari? Is Diogo doing enough to be a starter?
Do we
I
get
think
rid of
we've
Ari?
answered that
Yeah.
we've answered this already. I
I mean, I'll do it quickly. Ari needs to be with the Monarchs. Diogo, he is a starter. Is the fan base disappointed? Yes. Is he going to improve? Most likely.
That's a great answer.
It is. It is. Next question for you guys. Do you guys think Luna can get a DP spot with RSL?
Mm.
I don't want him to get a DP spot with RSL.
Why is that?
Um, I think from a business side, I think we can get more money out of him. I don't want to spend money on local, especially if he's has so much potential.
Mm.
Um, I think we've seen it with Justin Glad. Do you know how much Justin Glad makes?
Not off the top of my head, no.
1.5. That's a lot for local. Especially with he's making I think 400 less than Diogo, by the way.
Hmm.
And so basically he's almost DP status, Justin Glad. Do we think that he deserves DP status? No one does. And so I don't think I would put anyone local as
Well, I
DP.
well,
Interesting.
I think the only way to keep Luna from going to Europe is possibly to give him that DP status.
Do you want to chain ball him to MLS? That's the thing.
We don't have enough time to break that down tonight.
I mean, and I guess the quick question would be, what would be his best course to grow to be influential on the U.S. national team?
Makes sense. Yeah,
Is it keeping him in MLS or moving him abroad? That's literally a debate that we could have.
definitely. Well, that wraps up. That's all the questions. That was
Oh,
all the.
guys,
That's
that
it.
was
Oh,
well. I mean, still, that was pretty intense. I think we're getting close, but woo wee, guys, that was a good one. I think
La,
before.
la,
Oh yeah,
well,
go ahead.
lastly, we have a little bit of time left, but I want to get you guys' thoughts. New U.S. kits. What do you guys think?
ooh, Marcos and I were talking about this yesterday. I think they'll grow on me. Not my favorite. Not even by a long shot.
I'm I'm an what do you call it? A traditionalist when it comes to kits. I think try to keep it as consistent as possible. I know designs change,
Well, we see
but
like Brazil,
I mean,
Argentina. They've kept the same.
like I'm going to stick with my Argentina example. You know it's Argentina when you see wet jersey,
Mm.
Blue and white stripes.
blue and white stripes. Okay, so now how do you know it's the U.S. without looking at the crest?
Nobody
That,
knows.
that that's what I'm getting at. So I'm a traditionalist. You know that it's France when you see it's all blue. When you see it's
England.
England, it's all white with like a blue something somewhere or red. It's so
So what's your? Oh,
what
yeah. So I was gonna ask, what's your favorite U.S. men's national team kit then?
2002,
That is a clean kit. That is a clean kit.
2002. Probably because I have the best memories with those ones. Um, USMNT jersey. I'm looking it up just to make sure I'm. Yep, that's my
Really?
that's my
With
favorite.
the red and blue stripes on the side?
With with with,
Uh-huh.
with with the
Interesting.
Giants star.
No, that's not the Giant Star one.
That's the Giant Star one.
I'm thinking 96.
Yeah,
98.
I'm
those,
98.
those are iconic. For me, it's 2017 Gold Cup. Those are fantastic. I want one of those, and I can't find it for less than like $300.
Oh
You know my
gosh.
my least favorite is 2014, the one that Beckerman wore at the World Cup.
Are you talking
Really?
about the bomb pop?
Yeah, I hated
The
What
that
the
one.
is
the
wrong
the
with you?
the, the red, white, and
Yeah,
blue?
I was
You
not a
mean
fan of.
the only kit that we won a game in? You really want to say that that's your least favorite?
I just that one didn't grow on me. No,
I can't believe you.
I guess I'm too old school. I like the 98 look.
98? Trying to
I
find
mean,
it.
coming from the guy who's wearing a polo with all the buttons buttoned up, I guess we
Oh, it's so funny. Um, Guys, no, it has to be 2002. Has to be.
2002.
I need that to come back. But I do like the 98 ones. The one with the reddish bluish stripe across the top. Though, can we be real here? The 94 away jersey with blue with the stars all around it.
Oh, the Alexi Lawless jerseys.
The Alexi Lawless jerseys.
No, but I'll have to think about it long and hard whether or not I buy one of these new kits. The black one, I'm leaning towards. The white one, I'll have to grow on me.
Eh, I
Hmm.
think the white one's where we're seeing the most consistency.
Yeah, because it's white. I mean, you can't do much with home kits, to be honest.
Last thing
Another
is
last thing. Come on.
last thing is Saturday's game the game that we officially see Johnny Russell get minutes for RSL.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. Um, I say no. I don't think we're gonna see Johnny Russell minutes for like another month.
I'll say maybe. It depends on how the game goes. If we are winning again by the 65th, 70th minutes, we'll probably see him come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go garbage minutes for Johnny.
All right. Sounds good. Well, guys, that was a hoot. That was a lot of fun.
Hoot.
I'm gonna go take a rest now. Probably go sleep. I don't know. But thanks everyone for joining us. This has been great. Um, let us know what you think. Make sure you give us a rating of some sort. A good one, not just any sort, a good one, please. And subscribe to YouTube. Join the club because there's a lot of people that are starting to subscribe on the YouTube because guess what? We're putting some shorts out, and you might like these little clips.
Booty
So
shorts.
booty
Ooh,
shorts.
summertime is coming, you dude. Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna get banned. Marcos, get us out of here.
If you guys are not already, head over to X, head over to Instagram, and follow us at the RSL Bros. Listen to us wherever you catch your podcasts on Spotify or Apple, and watch us on YouTube.
Sounds good. Bye, guys.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Peace.